At a certain point in Jesus' ministry, when the disciples had walked with him for 3 years, in John 15:15, he turns to his disciples and says, I no longer just call you servants, because a servant does not know what his master's business is. Instead, I have called you my friends. Turn there, John 15:15. I want you to make sure you see it. We all sing about, I am a friend of God. But to be honest, most of us really don't understand the impact even of that song, because you never had or you never been a good friend. So for God to use a term friendship, it goes over your head because you can't even understand what he's saying. God, you're my friend? What does that mean? I've never had a good friend. And sometimes I've never been a good friend. So even using that term doesn't even click with you. So let me talk to you a little bit. When you think about talking with a friend or having communication with a friend, the conversation with a friend is normally free-flowing. You know? It's normally free-flowing, it's friendly. Look, it's real, it's raw, it's honest. With a friend, you can openly share things that you don't share with other people. With a friend, you can afford to be vulnerable because you feel like you're in a safe place. I can take off my mask. I can give you the really real. They heard what I said, but you know what I meant because you my. Come on, talk to me, somebody. With a friend, you don't always have to couch your words or craft your sentences because they know what you mean even if you don't use the right words. Come on, talk to me. With a friend, you don't even have to complete the sentences. You can say this, that, and the other, and they nod in their head. They know what you mean. Because that's my friend. Because they know what you mean, even if it doesn't come out right. With a friend, you don't have to have a whole lot of explaining because there's a trust there. With my friend, I don't have to do a whole lot of oversharing. Whenever you are talking to somebody, you got to do a whole lot of oversharing or over-explaining. It's a sign that person is not really your friend. So I got to spend 2 hours trying to explain what I said and what I meant was and what I was trying to say. You got to go through all that because there's no relationship there. Look at this. Follow me here. With a friend, Brother Tony, you're not easily offended. With my friend, they can say something to me and I can say something to them and they're not easily offended because they know my heart. I think what's bothering the body of Christ is that we are affected with a spirit of offense. And a spirit of offense is that spirit that makes you prone or easy to be offended. You get mad quick. You fly off quick. The smallest infraction will send you running for the door. The smallest infraction will make you break this whole relationship. The smallest infraction will make you move your membership. The smallest infraction will make you delete people, block people, because there's no relationship there. And you are easily offended by simple terms and simple words. It's not them, it's not even the devil, it's that you have a spirit of offense. The spirit of offense in the church has destroyed more people than anything I know. You know why you can do that? Because there's no trust there. There's no relationship there. There is no, we talked a couple weeks ago about the fellowship of the saints. And one of the reasons why they encourage them to have the fellowship of the saints is because when you know people, you're not easily offended. You can't step on my toe and I get mad. If you're somebody who is easily offended, I'm praying for you that God will release you from a spirit of offense. Because that spirit will follow you no matter where you go. Because it has nothing to do with where you are, it has something to do with who you are. See, with my friend, is when you know somebody intimately, I can almost tell you if they said something or not. Because I spent time with them. Jesus said, my sheep know my voice. When you spend time with somebody, you kind of know what they would say. And you could tell me something about a friend of mine, and I could say, no, I don't think that's them. They don't talk like that. That's why the early apostles would be able to say to you early, that's not God. I know they're teaching, I know they're eloquent, but that ain't God. They were easy to call out false prophets because they had spent time with the master. When you heard you talk or speak or preach or whatever, they could say, that ain't God right there. Because they had spent enough time with him in intimacy till they recognize their voice. Because you spent enough time in his presence to know their voice. Even if I can't see you, I know your voice. Have you spent enough time with God that you can recognize his voice no matter who God is using? It could be a man, it could be a woman. When I hear somebody preach, I don't care about the gender. I don't care about the age of the person. I don't care about the sex of the person. I don't care about, I'm listening for the master's voice. Somebody this morning cannot receive the voice because they're watching the vessel. But everybody that can hear his voice when he speaks, give God a praise that I can hear his voice.